as declared
by the Constitution
of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That was a scene last night on the steps of the Tennessee state capitol, where lawmaker Justin Jones was reinstated. Last week, House Republicans expelled him and another black Democrat from the legislature for participating in a gun control rally on the House floor. But Nashville City Council unanimously voted to send Jones back to the legislature with a strong message for Republicans. They aren't taking gun violence lightly. Bob Mendes and Zulfat Suara are Metropolitan Nashville Council members at large. Councilors, thank you so much for joining me.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Councilwoman Suara, I'd like to start with you. I watched that video of Justin Jones on the Capitol steps as he's being reinstated, and you're right there, front and center in that white outfit. What was that moment like for you?
Oh, it was very emotional. I had to hold back my tears. I've been a Justin supporter for a long time. I was there when he was sworn in the first time, and so I was also there when he was expelled. I was in the gallery that night. Cried that time too, and then to be standing back on that steps after what my colleagues and I did in such a short turnaround was very moving. It was a great day for democracy, and to see how everything just moved so fast. It was just very emotional. I was humbled to be there, proud to be there, and so mixed emotion, but happy, very happy to be there. It was just very moving.
Well, Councilman Mendes, I wonder if you can help me with a basic civics lesson here, because your system is different than what we have here in Canada. You voted unanimously to reinstate Justin Jones. Did you need a unanimous vote? Would a majority have done it? Would a supermajority have done it? What's the threshold you had to clear with this vote?
We just needed a majority, and I think there was a strong feeling in our council that we wanted to send a strong message back to the state that they should not be removing one of our properly elected House of Representatives members. So it was, as Zulfat mentioned, a big deal that we were able to act quickly and unanimously to send that message back to the state that we expect our elected officials to remain in office and not be bounced out for basically a decorum issue.
Do you think that message was received by the legislature? Like, will they abide by this and honor this, or do you think they could try to do this all over again?
Well, I think the Republican supermajority has turned out to raise more money for Democrats in Tennessee in 4 days than anybody else. So my guess is they don't do it again for that reason alone. But I don't think they're in the habit of taking our advice about how to run the state.
Well, Councilwoman Suara, I wonder, two black men ousted from the Tennessee legislature while a white woman was allowed to stay for the decorum issues, as Councilman Mendes describes it. What do you take from that? I mean, what message do you take from that decision by the legislature, and what message do you hope they receive from the decision your council has taken to send Mr. Jones back?
Yeah, the optics does not look good. I mean, even Representative Johnson herself said it, that it appears to be racism, and I think it is racism. There's no other thing to call it other than that. When you have three people up for the same charges or with the same resolution, and then some folks decide that they're comfortable enough to support one member from being expelled, but then the other two do not deserve the same grace. And the only common denominator, the only factor there that makes sense is that they're both two young black men. And so that was part of what makes the people very upset. The optics of it all was not very good. The message that I hope that they got is that people are not going to stand for it, especially the teenager, the youth. I mean, they were so powerful and they came out in force. My colleague will tell you that we received thousands of emails and calls, and people were like, we support democracy, we want our representative back. And I think they heard it loud and clear. As somebody who was working with the other side to make sure that the swearing in happened, I think they got it. That was why they were able to move very swiftly on their side too, because we had to coordinate to make sure that we get there, we get him there, we get it done. And so we had help on the other side too, our colleagues on the state side, moving and working to make sure that happens. So I think the message was received. How long it will stay now? That is the question. But I think they got the message loud and clear yesterday. That was why they were able to see him, acknowledge him right after we voted him in.
Councilman Mendes, do you see this as being about race as well? I mean, that is the easy conclusion to draw from all the way up here in Canada. How do you view it?
Well, until just a couple of years ago, we had the bust of the founder of the KKK in our state capitol building. Before Justin Jones was a state representative, he led protests to get that bust removed from the Capitol. There's a current member of the House of Representatives that wears a Confederate flag tie, sometimes in the chamber. This state has some of the most regressive anti-LGBT laws, worst abortion laws in America. It's hard to reach a conclusion other than race regarding how the expulsions went.
The expulsions in this issue has been largely about race, but Councilman Mendes, it was started as a protest about gun control after the mass shooting that happened in your state. We've got another situation like this unfolding in Louisville right now, where we're getting updates on that. Do you think this will spark any real change in the gun control debate in your country, in your state?
Hope springs eternal. I know that the majority of Americans and the majority of Tennesseans are in favor of having greater gun controls. And unfortunately, the gun lobby has got a throttle on state and federal legislatures. I think the state of Tennessee may take a small step toward implementing what's called a red flag law to try to have an early warning for people who might be experiencing mental distress before they can get a hold of a gun. But we need to go much further. We've reached the point where gun deaths are the leading cause of childhood death in America. And most Americans want change. Most Tennesseans want change. Most people in Nashville want change. And we're just going to have to keep fighting to try to get that to be a reality.
Councilwoman Suara, do you think they'll get that change, or is that just a non-starter politically with the way things are in your state right now?
Oh, I hope, as a parent, that's what you hope for, that all of what just went down the last couple of weeks will spark an outrage, and it has sparked an outrage, and I hope it sparks some action. I know that the governor made an announcement this morning that they will try and do something, but like Bob said, it's not enough. But I hope people don't let up. I hope that, the momentum of this last 2 or 3 days, that we keep it up, and we keep asking, and we keep, protesting, and we keep asking for gun reform laws in our state. And I think if we keep doing that, I'm hopeful, I'm very hopeful that we will get there. We have no choice. We cannot just let our children and our families be killed senselessly.
Councilwoman, just as a final question, Justin J. Pearson, he's facing a similar vote with the Shelby County Board of Commission tomorrow. Do you see him being reinstated, and do you see a similar emphatic unanimous message like the one your council delivered?
Yes, the message that we've been hearing from Memphis is that the Shelby County Commissioners fully intend to reinstate him. And so we're hoping by Thursday we'll be sworn in as well. So tomorrow is their meeting. I think they have a march and then a meeting. And then, yes, I'm also hoping that they will take an example from what Nashville did, and they will do the same thing. So yes, it should be reinstated. I have no doubt. That's the word on the ground, and I'm sure they will. So tomorrow we have to celebrate both of them together.
Councilman Mendes, I see you nodding along. Do you share that same analysis of what's going to happen with Justin Pearson?
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be unanimous. Here in Nashville, we've got a combined city-county government. In Memphis, the Memphis City Council is separate from the Shelby County Board, and it might not be unanimous, but I think it'll be overwhelming and strong approval from the Shelby County Commission. I think politicians at the state level, and certainly in both Memphis and Nashville, have heard loud and clear, put these guys back in office where they belong.
Bob Mendes, Zulfat Suara, it was lovely to meet you. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thanks very
Thanks
much.
for having
Appreciate
us.
it.